backpack. Sorry for that. It just had to be done. Sup, it's Sydney, and today we're going to be doing a juicy what's in my backpack. It just shook my entire desk because of the weight of this thing. I asked you guys on Instagram if you wanted a college edition what's in my backpack, and like 90% of you said yes, so sorry to the 10% of you that said no. I also low-key want a way to complain about college, so I'm thinking that as I pull out items, they're gonna trigger some traumatizing experience that I've had, and then we can talk about them, because that's really fun. First of all, my bag is from North Face. It's the exact same one that I used for the majority of high school. I think it's the women's recon backpack or something. I don't really know. I'll link it down below. He's kind of fraying at the edges, but overall he's held up pretty well, so we're gonna continue to use him until he dies. On the outside pocket, I have my Swell water bottle, which is empty because I was a good girl and drank all of my water. It's white, but it's super dented. Like, just look at the bottom. It's so scratched because I've dropped this thing so many times. One time I was in one of my lectures, and this lecture has like 350 people in it, and the floors are concrete, and I dropped this metal water bottle on the floor, and it rolled down like 3 rows. As you can imagine, it was pretty loud, kind of embarrassing, but that's just how college goes. On one of the little zippers, I have this little pink ribbon. It's October, so it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I know it's not October anymore, but do you know what? We celebrate boobs year-round, so fight me on it. We're gonna open the small pocket first because it's my favorite pocket since I just shove absolutely random stuff in here. Headphones. These are the ones that plug into my phone because sometimes you just gotta be antisocial. I have Aquaphor in here, which is considered a healing ointment. I hate that word. This is basically just a chapstick that actually works. My mom used it for so long and I was like, dude, what is that? Like, just use EOS like a normal person. And then I tried it and I was like, yo, give me some of that. And that's the tea on Aquaphor that no one asked for. I found that it's easier if you just don't question your previous actions. I don't know. I have my old high school ID. Just goes to show that I don't clean out my backpack. Nothing from high school to college has changed. We're still the same person. We're done with that. Crumpled $1 bills, you know, in case I hit up a strip club. Now I'm gonna have to pick those up. Why am I like this? An almost finished tube of Hall's cough drops for when I was sick at the beginning of the year. Let's hope I don't have to use these again because that was annoying. A nice, almost empty Bath & Body Works Vanilla Bean Noel hand sanitizer. Of course I have gum. I'm an addictive gum chewer, and Extra actually watched my last one of these and then sent me a huge bin of gum. I've probably finished at least 15 packs of gum since I started college, so take what you will with that information. And just like last time, we have gum wrappers. I'm kind of proud though. This is significantly less than last time. It's almost as if I learned how to use a trash can. Crazy. Then we have the second pocket, which is also kind of a mess. No one is surprised. First thing in here, my clicker, aka the spawn of Satan. I keep mine in my box for no apparent reason, but here's what it looks like. Yeah, if you don't know what a clicker is, that probably means that you haven't encountered them yet, and you are very fortunate. These are used to kind of gauge participation in class, and usually they're used in large lectures. You bring this to class with you every day, and then if your teacher decides to do a clicker question, they project something on the board with multiple choice answers. You have a limited time to click in one of the answer choices, and they only work within a certain radius of the room, so they're only gonna work in your actual classroom. This is so that if someone skips class, they can't get any credit for clickers because the entire point is to go to class and click in. This is the nifty iClicker 2. It's really advanced. The original iClicker didn't have a screen and this one does. We use these in calculus kind of sporadically, and I have calculus at 9:05 a.m., which sounds really late. don't get me wrong, but once you get to college, you'll realize that you're just so exhausted. Because I don't want to miss any clicker questions, I drag myself out of bed at 8:40 and walk to class. Ew! That's how I feel about clickers. Also in this little sleeve pocket, I have my planner. I like how it has all the tabs for the months, but then the actual layout is not my favorite just because of this big ring in the middle. Whenever I write, my hand kind of runs into this ring thing, but like it's not a huge deal. I just like to complain about nothing. I've been using the same highlighting system since like 8th grade, so pink means there's an exam, yellow means I haven't finished something yet, and orange means that it's done. Pretty simple. Aren't you glad you clicked on this video? That was so fun. Also in the sleeve, we have my Webster's Spanish to English Dictionary for students. I'm taking Spanish right now, and any use of the English language is forbidden. So whenever I don't know something, I look it up in here. This is a book I had to buy for English that we've used a whopping 1 time. It's kind of useful though. It's about citations and everything, so maybe I will use it later in life. Probably not. I could just look all of this up, but whatever. I'm not mad that I had to buy this at all, not in the slightest. I'm doing great. In the zippered pocket, I have 2 very essential things. First, tampons. Second, extra batteries in case my stupid clicker dies. These slots are where I keep my pencils. Wow, I bet you've never seen a pencil before. So as you'll see in a minute, my camera was being weird as frick, so it cut out some stuff, and I just feel bad leaving out things even though they're inanimate objects. We've all seen Toy Story. Well, my friends, we also have my scientific calculator that I can't use anyways because we're not allowed to use calculators in calculus. Sounds dumb, because it is. I bought it in 5th grade. You can tell because it's pink and I'm way too angsty for that. This jank flattened box of pencils, and the same pencil case that I used in high school. We will now return to the regularly scheduled program. In the computer sleeve, I have my laptop. Did you hear that? That was my stomach. That's kind of gross. I have a 13-inch MacBook Pro, but my really old computer was a 15-inch, and I just didn't buy a case that actually fit it. Here she is. What a beauty. We use her all the time, but not to take notes actually, because I do a lot better when I take notes in an actual notebook. Here are the 2 notebooks that I actually do take notes in. They're from Staples. They're my favorite kind. This one is strictly for math because whenever I'm doing the homework, I like to write out the question and then write out my work really neatly, so whenever I study for the exams, I can look back at this. This one's a lot messier because I use it for English and Spanish, because for both of those classes, you just kind of have to write out the notes and you only need them for that class. You don't really need to look back on them. So for example, if we're doing a Spanish activity where I'm gonna have to say a few sentences in Spanish, I might write them out beforehand so I don't look like a complete idiot in front of the class. That happens all the time anyways, but I at least try. Speaking of Spanish, I have my Spanish binder. Satan comes to visit in 3, 2, 1. Literally the... Speaking of Spanish, I have my Spanish binder. I'm sorry, what? As you may or may not be able to tell, that was the raw footage, which means my camera did that on its own. Am I possessed? I think maybe. Speaking of Spanish, I have my Spanish binder in here. There's really nothing in here besides my Spanish textbook because they only sold it in loose leaf version, so I wanted a binder to keep it all together. You don't get a ton of printed handouts in college, but I just have these in case I do get a handout, and this one, this thickie right here, is for math. My professor likes us to have his printed out notes for every section of every chapter. Having printed out notes that are like half filled out are great for learning. They're really bad for saving paper. At Penn State, they really love to collect your money, so you only get 110 free sheets of paper per semester. You can do double-sided printing, which is nice, but even still, each little packet is probably 7 or 8 pages, and each packet is a section, and we do a section in like 1 or 2 class periods, so
you can do the math on that one.
Once you hit your 111th page, you have to start paying to print because everything in college costs an exorbitant amount of money. So that's everything in my backpack. I know it was kind of really rambly, and that's not usually how I am, but I was just in the mood to complain about everything, and whenever I get in that mood, I just need to complain to someone, so I might as well just complain to all of you. If you're feeling extra spicy today, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, like if you want. That's it for today, folks. Bye.